Hey yo, and how is it? Vaping. Today is Sunday morning. I just had my coffee and was vaping on my Diplomat RDL, so the world is alright right now for me. And I thought it might need a new coil and the wick, so let's do a review about it. So this is the package your Diplomat RDL RTA by Century Mods will come in. Inside you will find, of course, user manual and a little card, and underneath here you will find your tank that's currently on my Parsons, and you will also find two other chambers, a little baggie with replacement parts and the second airflow pin. There are two airflow pins, a 3mm and a 4mm, and you get a replacement tank glass section. So let's go over the tank from the top to the bottom. On the top you get a standard 510 drip tip. This provided drip tip is actually really nice to use. It feels great and it looks awesome as well, especially on this tank. Then you get the middle section. If we unscrew the deck, you can pull out the glass, and this just consists of the glass and this whole part. This is your top cap barrel section, whatever you want to call it. In this standard configuration it's bottom fill, so you would hold your juice bottle right here and squeeze to fill, which works well enough. I've been using it in bottom fill quite a bit. We're gonna have a close look in wiki when we wick this to see why. And you get this chamber part. If we're gonna have a look inside here, you will see you get two more of these. So let's have a closer look at them. I don't know which one comes pre-installed. I swapped them around already well enough. I think it's this one. This is probably the biggest. As you can see, it's quite square. In the inside, it's just a little bit chamfered on the top, and it has good room if you want that. Then you also get two more chambers that are reduced. This is the middle one and this is the shortest one. You can see already from the side that they are smaller indeed, and from the inside you can see this one is kind of the same shape as the biggest one, just a lot less tall, and this one has a little bit of a step down. These are all bottom fill, where you can't do something here, right? That's why there are two extra packages you can buy. One is the Churchwarden RDL. This is the same size as all of these, but they are pop fill. So if we have a closer look at one of those chambers, you can see you can unscrew the top and then you get kidney holes to fill from the top. This will convert it from a bottom fill to a top fill. You also get three chambers here. This one is like this one from the bottom fill cap. It's maybe a little bit more square than this one. You can see it's not as chamfered, it's a little bit more squarish. Then you will also get a reduced chamber with a little bit of a step. They aren't identical to this one, which I think is a neat idea, so you get way different chamber styles. And the last one, this one has these little grooves inside. Now you might be thinking that all of these different chambers are unnecessary, and I thought the same in the beginning. I was really skeptic about this making any difference in flavor, but the difference are tremendous, and I would really recommend you all try each of the chambers you get, because the flavor is so different and it's awesome to get all this variety. In this pack you also get the spare glass section and some O-rings as well. In a short little while you will hear from me why I don't like top fill on this tank, but I'm still gonna install the top fill kit because I like this chamber the most so far. With the little grooves it just gives me the best flavor, and it is a little bit more condensed, as you might be able to see, than the standard one. So this one is currently my favorite, so we're gonna put that back in. So these were all the chambers in the Churchwarden RDL, which is the standard top fill kit. Now we can look at the Nose Warmer RDL, which is the Nano Top Fill Kit. This is basically the same principle. It's a top fill kit but with a shorter glass section to make this whole tank, yeah, maybe a centimeter shorter. If you're into that, that might be a kit for you. I'm not gonna show each. Let's do it. Let's show each chamber. You get a tiny little chamber like this. Then you get a stepped one as well. And this one, I don't even know how to describe the differences anymore. These aren't in a quick release style, but in a screw style. But it doesn't take much to unscrew or screw it. It's maybe 1.5 turns, I would guess. You of course also get the glass section and spare O-rings. I haven't tried the Nano Kit yet. I would imagine it gives even more flavor than the bigger ones, just because you are closer to your coil. But the capacity is just an issue for me. I need more capacity than that. Let's have a closer look at the deck and let's start at the bottom. Right here you have your airflow pin. You can just unscrew it and pull it out. There are different sizes. You get the 4 and the 3 millimeter provided in the kit. There is a extended airflow pin kit with a lot more options. I haven't bought it because I don't need it, to be honest. I think the 4 and the 3 are perfect for restricted direct lung and all you need. I like the 4 a little bit better, but the 3 just gives you a little bit tighter airflow. I would recommend to just get the kit and go from there. If you need more options, it is available though. Your air will come from both sides through these slits and travel through the airflow pin right up under your coils. Your coils will sit between those two post legs. You will see a better up close one when we wick it. You can see the shoulders here are really narrow, so you can't put a too big, too wide of a coil in there. Also the space between here, you are able to put in a 3 millimeter coil, but not with a thick wire. You have to use a thin wire and it will restrict your airflow. I prefer 2.5 mil ID coils. I think that gives me the best experience so far. Then on each side you get this juice port and a huge wick catch cup. These might look tiny, but they work just well enough. I had zero issues with dry hits. So let's build this. So let's put the coil in there. I'm gonna use these 3-core Boros by Coils by Scott, a 0.4 ohm 2.5 mil inner ID coil. I like this very much. I think the 0.4 suits the restricted direct lung pretty well, and they aren't as big or wide as other coils. So let's unscrew this. Maybe we need to unscrew it a little bit further. The screws are well long enough to be able to really raise it without an issue. Like you can, hope you can see that, you can really raise those screws without losing them. To put the coil in, I'm gonna put it on a wicking rod tool. You just place it like this and make sure your legs go over the sides, over the shoulders, all the way in. Make sure it's in the middle, which it's not. Then hold it down and screw down. It looks more complicated than it actually is. It's harder to do on camera than in person, where you can see what you're doing. It's actually fairly simple. After you put your both legs in there and screw down, you take your rod, straighten everything up so it's nice in the middle, just over your airflow pin, and I like to push it all the way down. It gives me a little bit smoother hit and good pressure on the coil. If you want more throat hit, you might raise it up a little bit, maybe something like this. It's not that well centered, I gotta be honest, but that looks well enough. Now let's snip the leads. That isn't hard to do because you get enough room right here to snip it closely to the post and it won't touch the chamber. I actually never had the issue of my coils touching the chamber before with this tank because you got more than enough room. Now let's glow the coil. Now it glows nice and evenly from the middle out. So let's let it cool down and give it a wick. For wicking, I'm gonna use this hip hop cotton. It's like in the string format. Now we're just gonna take our cotton, twist it so we get it all the way through. I like to cut it almost right to the side of the tank itself. So just on this side here. It depends. Now comes the difficult part. It depends if you're gonna bottom fill or top fill. If you're gonna bottom fill, you can thin it out a little bit. If you won't, you really don't have to, and just put it in like this. Your wicking ports here are more than big enough to accommodate any size of coils you can actually put in here. But if you're gonna use top fill, this is where the issue comes in. Because if we're gonna have a look at, let me pull this out. If you look at this catch cup, it's enormous, right? So no matter which coil you're gonna use, the amount of cotton you're gonna put in here won't be enough. It doesn't leak per se, but what I've found is that it's gonna get gurgly the first few puffs after each refill if you use top fill, and I had like just one drop come out of the airflow 1 or 2 times as well. You can accommodate that a little bit by taking your rest of the wick, like one of your the tiny things you've cut up, take half, and snip it again into maybe this length. What you're now gonna do is take this cotton and smush it into the sides, just like this. Depending on how thick your cotton is, you can maybe take some more and put it in onto the other side. This will just dampen up everything and make it more clogged up. You know what I mean. So the middle strand which leads to your coil is actually showing right here. That's why we're gonna put on each side and just make sure that it's gonna be tightly packed so it hopefully won't spill out. Now I only do this on the top fill ones, and if I'm gonna use top fill, I've tried it before, it does help a little bit, but after a few days of usage, when the cotton starts to collapse, it still can be a bit leaky. That's why I won't use top fill anymore, I use bottom fill. Now I said I won't use top fill anymore, but I'm still using the top fill cap. That's just because I like this chamber so much. Now that we talked about wicking and we wicked it, let's put some juice on there. And we're gonna fill it. Filling it is easy, even with bottom fill. You just hold it at an angle, put your bottle at the lowest part, right onto the chamber and squeeze. It won't fill into the chamber, it will flow down the glass. Surface tension and capillary action, all of that will help you right here. You just fill it right to the top, take your deck, put it on there, screw down, and you're good to go. So this has been the Diplomat RDL RTA. There's also an MTL version. I haven't tried that because I'm not that into MTL. I have basically nothing bad to say about the Diplomat. It's been one of my favorite single coils RTA I've tried so far. Gotta be honest, I really enjoy the flavor. That's just so flavorful, and it brings out each nuance so well. I've really been in love with this tank. I think I gotta be honest, there are a few tiny little gripes I've got with the tank, like for example the Phillips head screws I'm not a fan of, and the huge wicking cups. I would have preferred to see it maybe a little bit smaller, so the top fill will actually work. But those are minor gripes. I'm okay with using it in bottom fill, even though I don't usually like bottom fill, but I'm okay with that. It works easy enough and I can fill it easily. And for the flavor I get, I'm okay with sacrificing the top fill part. It holds, I think, 5.5 to 6 ml of liquid in there, which is enormous, which will give you quite a while to vape on it. The flavor is tremendous. I like the shiny look of it. It makes it feel high quality, even though it's not that expensive. I wouldn't classify this as a high-end device. I would maybe have liked to see the airflow pins in the kit, so it's not an extra purchase, but on the other hand, it would have made it probably more expensive, which I kind of like that it's in a affordable price range, so in like regular vapes can afford something like this and don't have to spend all their money on it. And the 3 and 4 mil pins are pretty much everything you would want in this tank, I think, or at least I would want. I think there will be differences in preferences right there. But all in all, I think this is one of the best RDL RTAs that come across my desk. I've been using it non-stop. It's been like my go-to vape. Even if I'm working on a review for something else, I'm still grabbing this with me just because I love it that much. And yeah, it's been really a great experience. If you want to catch up with maybe updates or anything I'm posting over there, head over to Instagram, where I post stuff every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central European Standard Time. We're gonna have a stream on Vaping Big's channel. You can join in there, and in the in the description down below you'll find a link to our new Discord server. Everybody is welcome. It's the Vape Rendezvous crew, us 4 guys from the stream that share our videos and stuff like that there and do announcement. We also have a community corner where people from the community can collaborate together, can post pictures and have a place to meet. And there's also a little bit of a content creator corner as well. Head over there, join, you're free to be there and build the community with us. So thank you all for watching, have fun vaping, and I hope I see you next time. Bye.